Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends, and glad you could attend. Come inside, Movie Maniacs, as we take a look at the independent horror film called Dead Girls, an anthology horror film that gives us various tales of revenge by girls who were done wrong, either abused or much worse, okay? And so that is basically the theme of the Dead Girls anthology. Now, you got a wraparound story in here that starts off very powerful. It starts off with a bang. Girl getting chased through the woods, gets into this really creepy house that is a resident to a very creepy girl who has some very dark powers. And we get that story interspersed in between these other short films that we see. One of the first short, well, the first short film that you see is Over My Dead Body, about a girl who's in a bad relationship, and it ends up ending even more badly in her untimely demise. And as you guessed, with the title of this film, what happens to these girls in these stories? Well, we see Susie, who, even though she has a very bad, horrible breakup, does get her revenge in the end. I liked Over My Dead Body quite a bit. It was a great way to start off this anthology, and let me tell you, there's a great tracking shot right in the beginning that just grabbed me and pulled me into this story because of the tracking shot. In fact, all the cinematography done in this film, as well as the other ones, are done really well, and shot in, there's some varying in styles in the storytelling, but all of them done very professional and very well, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it really helped keep me sucked into the stories that we had here, and Over My Dead Body was definitely a powerful one to start off with. The girl who plays Susie, the girl scorned, we have Aubrey Joyce Tunnell, does a great job. You feel her emotions, and in the beginning you kind of wonder, well, maybe I could see why why their relationship isn't working out, but then as time moves on, you really feel bad for Susie, and you feel good for her when you start to see that she is possibly able to get her revenge on being wronged. So I really enjoyed this story. Really shot well. Loved how it played out. Makeup effects in there here are good, and it was a very powerful short film to start off this anthology. The second film in this anthology was Theta Phi's Never Die. Yes, it's a classic sorority horror tale with a little bit of a twist. We've got the very snooty, popular girl sorority who have to have pledges in order to keep their charter. So they get a number of these girls in, and one of them is this very conservative Avery, who just happens to have a mom who used to be in the sorority. So they let her in, but a hazing ceremony goes awry, and, well, Avery, something nasty happens to Avery, but she comes back like a butterfly out of her cocoon, a different girl than what she started off as, and we see how the events unfold from there. This one was another one that was entertaining. Really had the feel of the old 80s sorority horror films, especially with the sorority girls. I recently rewatched Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl Ballerama for my Horror Thursdays, and this group really felt right just like that group in the Sorority Babes film. Especially who stood out for me, though, was Taylor, played by Madeline Matsi, and if I mispronounce that last name, I do apologize, but I loved her Taylor, the kind of alpha female of the sorority. Really had that feel of the alpha female in Sorority Babes, just exactly like that, and I loved it. I loved the feel of this film. I loved there was humor, and some really horrific things happened to the very nasty people that do Avery wrong, and I just liked the Avery character as well and what they did with her, played by Mia Doran very well. And I have to mention the guy who's in here, who's stuck in the middle of all this, Mac, played by Andrew Jacob DeHart. Loved his character. He had a great bit of humor to this film, and also, unfortunately, he meets a very nasty demise. So, another fun story. Really felt like kind of that 80s sorority horror film, and they captured that very well, and great performances by nearly everyone in that bit. And then the last one is Vengeance in Mind, which is about a very dark subject of abuse. Maggie, played by Kelsey Sante, is a girl who was abused you know, after the loss of her parents, she was abused in an orphanage, but we see how she finally comes around to resolve those demons that haunted her so as when she was younger. And really, this was a bit of a, I would say, out of all three subjects that are covered in this film, this was probably the darkest one, and a little bit, you know, very unnerving, dealing with abuse in the church, and surprising in the storyline, the way it played out, and a very refreshing surprise. It's done in forward and flashback style, so we get bits and pieces of Maggie's history in the back, and the guy playing Father R, Brian Rooney, yeah, definitely creepy moments in this story. Again, very shot, very well, told in a different style than the other other two films, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed how each one of these films was unique in its style, yet they all had the themes of women done wrong, and so really enjoyed that fact, and all really shot professionally, well done, audio great as well, and some great special effects in here too. A lot of practical gore effects where there was gore, which isn't a huge amount, but there is gore in here, and I really enjoyed the effects as well. So overall, really great production, shot about 25K, I think, but you couldn't tell from what you're watching. A decent anthology horror film that I sure hope gets some distribution soon. Right now it's on, I believe it's on the festival circuit. You should check it out. I'll put their links to their Facebook down below, as well as whatever else I can find. So really check out Dead Girls where you can. All around a decent package of women who've been scorned, stories, and how they get their vengeance, and it just shows you, you know, that's why I love this independent film scene, folks. Some refreshing stories where they may have similar themes, but they're told in original ways, and that's all you can really ask for stories like this. So definitely check it out, and until next time, folks, remember, keep that ticket stub.